Good morning and what's going on? Welcome to another Subie Shaves video with me on a beautiful day. Hashtag Team All Blade and hashtag No Blade Left Behind. Come on in, throw me a Subie smile, and all I gotta say is squad goals. Thank you for being here, for clicking in today's video, and for joining me. Hopefully wherever you're watching from, you're drinking something cold, sitting in a comfy chair, ready for a shave. I know I could use one. I'm sitting on just over 4 days of growth. That's right, 3 days on the weekend and a little bit more. And today we're gonna be using, highlighting, and showcasing the brand new up-and-coming Yaqi full stainless steel open comb Pagoda Mirabilis. And I want to say that because this is actually a tribute razor. Well, I got it in my mind, right? Of the Mirabilia brand. It was a Lama Italia razor produced circa like mid 30s. Absolutely beautiful Art Deco razor that Yaqi has decided to take and kind of like standardize and modernize in stainless steel. You can see the handle here. It actually pays tribute to the original handle. It is what they say is like the epitome of safety razoring in Italian vintage razors. Absolutely beautiful razor. I love the head cap. I love that angle to it. It's really quite interesting. And today I'm excited to see how it does for a dome shave. Again, huge shout out and massive thanks to Grace and her team over at Yaqi for allowing us to do this a little bit before it hits their website. Oh, it should be a lot of fun. And I know I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to be talking about the safety soap that I haven't used in a while. This is a Stirling shave soap, and it is the Dirty South Shavers. It is a soap that was created kind of as a small batch run for the August 31st, 2019 meetup. You can just smell this from across the hall when it's open. It is a tribute to their take on a homage of, right? Chrome Azzaro. Absolutely spot on the nose. Love this. Again, it was a limited run, so you can no longer get it, but I love this set. They give you a bunch over there. I really like what Rod does and what they do over at Stirling. They make a beautiful shave soap. It's kind of was one of my introductory shave soaps, and I really still like picking this one up. That's why it got left out. Beautiful stuff again. This is a Dirty South Shavers. Really beautiful, and I lathered that today with the brand new, this is just barely hitting their website from what I understand. This is the Yaqi Bandstand handle. It's a hollow metal handle. It's aluminum, and you can just see it's really kind of small, but it fits my hand beautifully, and I love how like it just lathers so nicely. It's really dense, but it has tons of pillow. It's really soft. It splays out really nicely. I love how this paints. You can just see it takes that Stirling soap and it just really manipulates it to the point of where it's absolutely hydrated, thick, rich, yet slick, and just really easy to use. Love that handle. Again, the Bandstand handle, it is just barely releasing from what I understand. I've had the opportunity to use it probably now 15 times. Love using it. It's one of the ones I just keep picking up. All right, let's get in here. Let's talk about this. I just want to start shaving. If you can't tell, I love this. They really went out of their way to make the razor theirs, right? This was a razor when they produced it by Lama Italia. When they produced the razor, it was in nickel. I want to call that out. It was actually a nickel razor that they brass razor that they nickel coated, and they kind of made it there by standardizing it in stainless. I really love that they went out of their way to take an older design, right, and like stamp it in a modern tolerance kind of mindset, right? I like that a lot. You can see the polish on this. It's reflective. It's shiny. It reminds me a lot of the Chip and Dale handle, to be honest with you, where they kind of did the Darwin handle and made it theirs. It's very fine. It's very thin. It has a little bevel on each side here. You can see, and that adds a little bit more like grip in your hand because you're able to kind of put your hand on each of the little facets. I'm not going to say it's ultra grippy, and it's not knurled, right? I can already hear people saying, I don't like it. Well, this is actually how it was designed. I'll have some photos reeling of the original razor. I just really think that's cool. I like the way that the razor assembles. It's a little bit different how it loads. It's reversed from a normal standard safety razor where you actually flip the razor upside down like this as you're assembling it. Kind of interesting. And then you can see here, the handle actually screws through the base plate into the top cap. Look at the way it assembles. The handle threads goes right up through. Really interesting. I like that they maintain those 3-hole pin kind of design based on the original one, but something that kind of cues everything off and makes it just stand out from all the other razors is their thin design on the bar. You see how the bar is actually quite thin? I think that's what really made me go, whoa. It's very similar to a vintage razor, because most of the time when we see modern open combs, they're a little bit thicker here, and they maintain that very thin profile. Kind of cool. You can see where the blade sits up against the bar here. It is actually very low gap. It's deceiving, sure, but it's a very much like those vintage razors where the blade goes right up against that open comb design. They don't seem like they have a ton of gap, and they often have a little bit more exposure, but the smoothness, right, is kind of startling. It takes you off guard because of how smooth these razors typically are, and that's how the face was today. I went into it scared. I won't lie to you. I picked this thing up. I was like, I don't know about this. The balance is quite good. I like that balance a lot, and I just said to myself, I may be really aggressive. So I went in really light-handed, and it gave me a shave that was super smooth, really, really accommodating. The bevel on the top cap kind of leads to the stroke. It sets that angle for you, and then you just kind of lift off slightly for the most, like I'd say, the sweet spot. Let's start some shaving here. Like I said, just over 4 days of growth. I want it to come off. I am absolutely thrilled to have the chance to be using this, and I really feel quite fortunate. I just want to mention that with everything going on, I was not sure the razor was going to make it here on time before my move, and I was just really worried. Our mailing service has not been I would say the most consistent, and everybody else was doing the reviews, and I was like, oh, I hope I get it, because it sounds so cool, and I just would hate to have it stuck in the mail, kind of bouncing around until I get my next place, right? So I am thrilled to have this and to be shaving with it today. Again, the razor was originally kind of designed 1925-ish circa, right? From what I can understand. And then it was really produced like up in the mid 30s, right? It's a razor that has two counterparts, right? There's an open comb and there's a flat bar design that they produced, right? Lama of Italia when they were making these razors. And Yaqi has decided to ultimately kind of recreate the open comb design. Really cool, very interesting. I tried to do a little bit of research for everybody here, and I really had a hard time digging in and finding a whole lot on the open bar design. You'll see, or the open comb design. You'll see a lot of people talk about their flat bar design. But their open comb design, there is not as much out there as far as people doing reviews, which makes it even more interesting, more obscure, and more kind of fun to use. I love that they're doing this, where they're kind of making their own razors that are based on razors of old. Really cool. Kind of like a time capsule piece, right? Takes you back. This is so much fun. It's very smooth. You can see it's very efficient. Stirling soap is giving me a ton of protection. Wow, yeah, I even had to do a double check here to make sure the blade was in there. It is very efficient yet very smooth. I would say this razor probably sits in the medium aggressive as far as blade fill goes. There is a little bit of blade fill, a teeny tiny bit. But I mean, not for as much as you would expect. Look at the stubble coming off here. Again, 4 days just being mowed down. Very, very easy to use. I would say if you're not a fan of small handles, this is relatively small, and that's kind of the razors of the the Italian way of the razors back of old. They were smaller in handle almost every single time, right? You often would find them, they were very I would say nimble and very light and very easy to fit into tight spaces. And I really enjoy safety razors that were produced in the Italian era. I had a bunch of no-name brand, I could never figure out what they were. Bakelite, I believe that they were Italian. All very smooth, all very enjoyable. And this kind of takes me back to using those. Oh my goodness, yes. What an awesome, absolutely excellent shave. Definitely probably not for everybody, right? It's not going to be a razor I think that everybody's going to run out and want to purchase. But if you're a person that likes kind of revisiting razors, right, of old, or you're tired of chasing them down, that's been my biggest problem. And why I love these is because I have a hard time with sourcing. Usually when it comes to safety razors that are vintage, especially foreign safety razors, they tend to be really hard to find in good condition. And when you do find one in good condition, all the American buyers that have access to them really chase them. They go for usually a grundle. High-end collectors really want to complete sets, things like that. And so they're hard to kind of find, and I like the opportunity to get to use one, but maybe even use one that is like a little bit more modernized, right? This covers the blade tabs, which I really like. I really like how like the stainless steel component to it, right? Because it's just gonna remove one extra level and layer of like amount of work you're gonna do on the daily to maintain a razor, right? And then if you do find one that's like Bakelite or something like that, it's falling apart, right? You're not gonna have to worry about that. So I like that they're offering it in more stainless steel, like, you know, modernized tolerances. I just think that it really helps with the daily level of shaving. Sure, I like to have the ones that I look at, right? But I also like to have the ones that I can use, and this kind of fits both ways. It is super duper shiny, absolutely beautifully made, really good tolerances. I didn't have any blade wobbling. That's another thing when you find vintage razors, right? They don't really work with modern razor blades, right? That's usually kind of a problem I have found. Look at this thing. It fits our modern blades, covers the tabs. Awesome stuff. Huge shout out again to Grace and to Team Yaqi, the Pagoda Mirabilis, which is actually like a Latin, from what I understand, for like wonderful or wondrous, and then weather, apparently. Kind of interesting. Pagoda means weather. Mirabilis is like, you know, wondrous, miracle, and then you have the Mirabilia, which is actually kind of the same thing from what I could gather. Razors, really interesting, great shaver. That's kind of how I feel. Like, that was wondrous. I was kind of shocking. Low blade exposure, low gap, and just a great shaver overall. I mean, yeah, the efficiency is there. You can definitely feel that blade going right through the lather and chomping it down. But the smoothness, the efficiency, look at that BBS. No problems, no irritation, and absolutely no nicks or dings. Let's check it out. Let's throw in a little splash and let's get this thing finished here. Oh, love Chromazaro. Takes me right back. It's a scent that I've used for a long time. It's a scent that reminds me of being a little bit younger, a little bit faster. I really enjoy this one. It's a citrus aquatic that just speaks to my heart. It smells clean. It smells refreshing. It smells a little bit, I would say, inviting and energetic. I like this one a lot. Grabbing ourselves a little bit of the actual fragrance here to finish it off the right way, right? Just to finish it off the right way here. Oh, really nice. I couldn't think of a better way to spend the day. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was interesting and exciting. Seeing the Pagoda Mirabilis kind of in action. I know it's a razor that when I saw other people talking about it, I got really excited, and hopefully you do the same. This was fantastic. It was close. It was really easy, and I do think it kind of feels very similar, like you're holding a vintage razor that you got in a modern age. Awesome stuff. Huge shout out again to Grace. It was awesome to see you here. If you haven't, please go below, smash that sub button. I'd love to talk to y'all in the comments, and until I see you there, Subes out.